Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Quant Network aka QNT, and let's just dive in. So first off, yes, we are up about, this I think is not updated real quick. Let me refresh it real quick for you guys. So right now the market is doing a nice little move. We do see Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rest of the altcoin market up a little bit now. On the 24-hour span, if we go and take a look, we did see, Quant being the number one mover, but now we do see USDC being the number one mover, which really isn't anything special. On the 7-day span, though, we are up about 72%. I mean, this thing is moving pretty hard. Volume up 85%. We're going to be addressing it. I've seen a lot of people asking me, dude, do you think that this thing's going to have a pullback? Like, where do you think that we, have a pullback from? Do you think it's too late to get in now, etc.? So we're actually going to be talking about that and addressing it, but I just want to say, I have been telling you guys to average into Quant because I was expecting something similar to this, but not at this current moment in time. This actually caught me off guard too. I was not done accumulating, but hey, it is what it is. I averaged in. I bought a few under $50, so I am chilling. But for the most part, yeah, we are still seeing a lot of accumulation here. It's starting to kind of slow down a little bit, but we are nearing the 60,000 mark for total addresses, so that's great to see. But let's dive into the chart. So when we really kind of look at the chart right now, we are basically watching for this to hit a resistance point. Right now, that resistance point has been really kind of looking at around $110. I was actually waiting to see if we can get to that 115. It looks like it's kind of slowing down. We're seeing a little bit of diminished volume right now on the 1-hour chart. I know on the 2-hour, the 3-hour, and the 4-hour, it still looks a little bit good. We do see the MACD still kind of building down here. It still looks pretty strong. So we might get a little bit, one last push up to this level of $115. If we can break it, that's going to be pretty exciting. And also here you guys have the 3-hour. The 3-hour looks very strong with the MACD and also even the volume. The RSI is a little bit overbought right now on the 3-hour, but it's not too concerning. Here I have the 4-hour as well. The 4-hour still looks pretty good. But I'm waiting to see if we are going to have a pullback from this range because we are at a little bit of a resistance point, but I'm more so kind of looking at the 0.5 fib level, which would be the $115 range. That's what I'm watching for currently. And like I said, if we do break this, we'll most likely come up and test the 150, almost $160 range, and that would be the 0.618. We have tested this before, and just remember, right? We have broken out of this channel going back to the summer of 2021 before we went to $400 plus. Now, am I expecting $400 plus anytime soon? No, but hey, I will love to be caught off guard by this. But I definitely am watching this a little bit closely now that we are getting around these, fib levels up here. I was actually looking to see if we were going to reject off of the 382. But we just never did, which was surprising to me, at least in the sense of how strong this actually is. Now, if we do change the fib levels and if we actually go and look at the fib levels from our recent impulse going back to March of 2020, so here would be the March of 2020 top, and if we go off of the bottom range that we do have currently, this does change a little bit on where we are really kind of looking at. This would be $116, the 786. Just make sure that we are on. I don't think that this one is on perfectly, so 1 second. So there we have it. So it's more so around the $116 range. This would be the 786, just so that you guys know. The levels to watch for would be a retest of the 702 at $103, and if we reject that and really kind of just go right through it, then we would be more so eyeing this range down here in terms of a demand zone, which would be at the $77 range. We might even test this January 2022 low, which would be the yearly low of 2022, sitting at about $83, almost $84. But that's what I would be personally watching for on Quant, just to kind of give you guys an insight. Do I think that it's too late to jump into Quant? In the short term, I wouldn't be buying this candle. I mean, I'm just going to be completely honest with you guys. This, to me, I mean, if we look at where we were just recently back in June, this is already 170+% move up right now, and at our current price, it is 163%. So would I be buying that, and would I be telling anybody to buy that? No, absolutely not. So just be patient. I know that when we look at this market, it is a little bit hard to really kind of fathom like an altcoin pumping like this while like the market isn't really moving too much. Like, Quant is severely outperforming pretty much everything in the top 100, including Bitcoin and even Ethereum right now. So it is a surprise. It came out like a very weird time as well. But I would just more so watch for this demand zone being tested down here at like $79, almost $80, for anybody who does want to jump in and maybe take a little bit of a position. So that's what we're watching for. If we do break out of like the 115, 116 level, it would be more so eyeing the $154 range. By the way, this is a strong rejection area, so watch to see a strong rejection up here. Remember, just recently, back in March, we rejected off this $154 range after testing the lows back in January and also testing the lows back in February as well. And once we rejected off of that, it was a pretty strong, rejection that came down about like almost 74%. So just watch that closely for anybody who does want to buy into Quant, just to kind of give you guys that update. Now, also, let's talk about fundamentals around Quant. We just seen them post this an hour ago. We do see our QNT as if connecting 12 countries isn't enough. Quant and LACChain have a vision to connect to other regional DLT ecosystems in America, Europe, Asia, and Africa. Quant wants to see a time when all closed loop ecosystems are connected in one big global trading network. And shout out to Quampy Gang for this, but yes, this is Quant's new post on like LACChain and stuff. We're actually going to open this up in a new tab. We're going to read more so into it, but we do see here through our Overledger gateway, we enable participants to connect their private, public, and permissioned blockchain, basically networks, if you will, but just their blockchain to LACChain. Networks and DLTs, one siloed can now interact. And yeah, I mean, like when we really kind of look at the connections here, like this goes back to June 27th, but like I always thought of Quant being the foundation behind the new like financial system. That's what I've always really kind of looked at. Like I know that a lot of people compare this to like Flare because Flare is launching here soon. But they're completely diverse in their own ways and their niche audiences, similar to like XRP and XLM. Like a lot of people kind of compare the two because they're very similar. I mean, at one point in time, XLM was a fork of XRP, but again, completely different niche audiences. They're going after completely different use cases, and the same goes for Quant and Flare. In fact, we actually have a comparison real quick over here that we will be addressing by the end of this video. But we do see here Quant provides blockchain interoperability solutions to LACChain, a pan-regional blockchain initiative in Latin America and the Caribbean that fosters financial inclusion, sustainability, and creates new efficiencies around digitization or through digitization. And yeah, I mean, like this is where we really kind of want to focus on, because LAC, like when we talk about LACChain, like this is just like one connection to like 12 countries itself. This is just a start though. Like I know that like we talk about this a lot. Like this is like the main like bread and butter, if you will, behind Quant. Like this is like the major player dynamic, but like there's so much bigger use cases out there for Quant to actually focus on. But yeah, we do see down here like they're talking about just the areas that they're really kind of looking at for interoperability. Like DLT applications have the potential to vastly increase financial inclusion, improve the sustainability of supply chains, protect intellectual property, reduce fraud, and support democratic processes. And they're talking more so about like LACChain down here, like through our Overledger gateway, we enable participants to connect their private, public, and permission blockchains to LACChain networks and DLTs that were once siloed can now interact. And of course, they talk about the efficiencies around this in regards to like the payments and banking scene, stablecoin programmable currency, remittance solutions using stablecoin, wholesale stablecoin, and account management functionality as well. And here's the impact. I mean, yeah, I mean, like when we really kind of look at the legacy system, we do see like the ability to leapfrog legacy technology using DLTs has been, achieved benefit. In Northern Europe, for example, monetary transactions are largely cashless. Their consumers pay using digitized bank cards and wallets such as Apple Pay, Google Pay, and PayPal. Other regions with less access of these or to these services, can use DLTs and stablecoins that run on the technology to open new possibilities for payments. The issue here, though, I know that they are not going to mention this. They're not going to really kind of put a focus on this, but we've focused on this with XRP, for an example. So these digital wallets, now, I think that a lot of people are kind of confusing where digitization really kind of plays a role from like, the crypto scene. Like Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal, and all these like digital, apps like Venmo, Cash App. The issue with them, with the legacy system, where we're really kind of looking at like the digital payment processing, apps, they're still utilizing pre-approved like payments. This is where like XRP comes into play as like, sourcing liquidity for like instant settlement. That's such a huge use case, but think about it like this. XRP, and like this is not to like, hurt the XRP, maxis or anything like that. But like XRP will not be adopted fully without interoperability rails beneath it. That's why I always say like Quant is such a huge pivotal like, use case in this space, because it's actually going to, help propel like crypto to a whole new level. Like it's actually going to allow for, crypto to be massively adopted, specifically use cases like, what Ripple is building with XRP. So I love to see that, and a lot of people bring up Interledger Protocol, again, completely diverse in its own way, and it's not the same as Quant. Like Quant has already, penned down the idea of like a true interoperability solution for the legacy to digital scene. But yeah, I mean, like this is just the beginning. Like this truly is just the beginning. I'm not going to say, hey, dive into QNT right now because like you are too late. You're really not. You're still extremely, early. But again, like sorry, I'm not gonna say like dive into QNT just because like it's extremely early. You're not too late either. But I'm just saying like I would not say like buy this right now. But last but not least, let's go over to the Flare QNT comparison. So we do see here the difference between QNT, Overledger, and Flare explained in an attached tweet by Just a Tech Guy. Shout out to Son and L11 for this, but both have different target audiences and both are very solid. QNT targets enterprises / governments, central banks that utilize private chains like Corda and Hyperledger. And here we have like the top 10 technologies using by the top 10 or top 100 institutions. Sorry. We do see, Hyperledger Fabric, Ethereum, Quorum, Corda. I think this is MediLedger, yeah. And then there's a few other ones over here. And you do see like all of the major names here. And then on the next slide, you also do see like Hyperledger Fabric, Forbes. Half of the Forbes blockchain 50 companies use Hyperledger. And then we do see like all of the major names down here. And then in the next slide over here, we do see DLT, Hyperledger Basu, Corda, Corda Quorum, and then Mbridge Ledger as well. Yeah, I mean, like this is like all of the major like CBDCs and things like that they are focused on as well. You do see like everything that they are really kind of working on, as well as like central banks and stuff. And if you guys do want to go check out this thread from Just a Tech Guy, like this really kind of just shares with you guys the insights on things. But like every interoperable DLT network interoperates through zones, subnets, state channels, parachains, or performs consensus on external data through their own networks, nodes, or an Oracle network like Chainlink. And Overledger is nothing like that. It connects nodes with each other directly without overhead across multiple consortia operating on their own types of DLTs or DLT instances. It also abstracts data, models, and interactions of all these DLTs with ISO standards. And it is like a little bit of a confusing statement, but just to kind of really give you guys an insight, like all I really kind of look at is the technology stack beneath a lot of these like interoperable like use case networks that are coming out. There will be a ton of like in terms of like layer ones, like there's a ton of layer ones in this space. There's going to be a ton of like interoperability like use cases coming out as we do kind of move forward on in time. But the issue here is just the tech stack and the team behind it. That's what I really kind of look at when I look at a lot of this technology in this space. Like Quant, in regards to like the 3-line of code to go live, interoperability standard, and not only that, but like the TC307 stuff, like all of that plays a pivotal role in Quant being the standard around interoperability. And this is what a lot of these other like, in quotation marks, interoperability solutions lack, is just not only the connections, but the technology, the experience, and of course the tried and true tested solution. I've always said like Quant will play the role of the interoperability standard simply because of what they have already achieved, what they have already been focusing on. And also like the technology is like nothing else in this space. And of course, yes, it is patent technology. I love Flare. I think that Flare is going to be, solid. I think that's going to be a great, opportunity for people. But it's just nothing compared to QNT. And I do think that QNT going forward, I've always said like this thing is going to be a major opportunity. Give it like a couple years. You're not going to be able to touch QNT or buy a single QNT for a very affordable rate. I think that right now, once we do get this pullback like under $100, like anything under $100 on QNT is a gift in itself. And I'm very excited for the future of QNT and Quant. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Guys, did definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. It says up that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.